Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Friday, May the 1st, my friends. Wow. Holy moly. Number one, baby. May 1. I always say in Central New York, spring doesn't start until May, although we've had some wonderful, wonderful days here in the upstate New York region. But, I think it really begins now, although it's a rather chilly day once again. Last couple of days a little chilly. I was out at the ballpark last night, Paul, as you know, and it was, I can tell you, okay, now I am, I'm dramatic when it comes to these things. I'll admit it myself. I'm a little over the top when it comes to cold. I mean, I don't know why and how
you're living in New York, but yeah,
this region of the country, in this snowy place during the wintertime and
lived here your entire life.
Sub-zero, been here longer now than I've lived downstate, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I am a typical overdresser. But, I like to be warm. I don't like to be cold. I do not like the cold on my neck. I don't like the cold on my head. I don't like the cold on my hands.
I do not like it, Sam. I do not like it at all. Green eggs and ham.
The ballpark last night, while it was in, I'm going to assume the 40s during most of the game. Especially once the sun went down. And it was very windy at the ballpark.
And a doubleheader, so probably the second game was more so.
Was the second game. I was only there for the second game.
Oh, okay.
Because I had originally planned for my my students who were doing play-by-play tape for the game. So this was a student, trip. Call it a field trip.
Good. Hopefully Jack Gordon took care of you guys.
Yeah, and it was planned for this date. And then as it turns out, they get rained out on Wednesday, so it was a doubleheader Thursday. And I said, no, we'll just stick to the plan. I'm not rearranging 20 students' schedules. We're all just showing up the same time. We're going to do game 2 instead of game 1, and then everything's going to be fine. And it worked out peachy. But it was very windy at the stadium as well. So 40 plus the wind. I mean, it's feeling like the 30s. Well, I had my light down jacket, and then by the third inning, the heavy down jacket over. So a double down action, full ski regalia, ski hat, the neck gator, the thick one, the fleece, and gloves.
Where's your gloves? Where's your respect? Where's your dignity, man?
My dignity is I felt nice and warm. That was my dignity. Yeah,
how many layers did you?
Okay, 3 hot chocolates to keep me warm as well, my friend.
Light jacket, over jacket, ski gear, gloves. How many layers did you have of just normal clothes?
I was, wearing, because we were there as media. I was dressed nicely, so I had just regular slacks on. And
what about up top? How many layers are we talking about?
T-shirt, dress shirt. That's it. T-shirt, dress shirt.
T-shirt, dress shirt, light jacket, over jacket. Good Lord, man.
Layers. 4
like
layers.
The Earth's surface, for goodness sake. The crust, the inner core, like what?
My students came there and I told them, I put in giant capitals on the email, dress warm. It's going to be chilly at the ballpark, especially when the sun goes down. 2 or 3 of them, just a hoodie. And then there they are, shivering in the third inning, and I'm over there like, did your professor not say dress warm? Now, I'm not going to feel bad for you because I told you. I put out the warning shot, and you didn't listen. So, anyway. All right, enough of that. We're here to talk Syracuse basketball on a Friday. We are presented by Northeast Roofing Professionals. Today's video brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse. And before we bring in our pal Neil Adler, I want to mention we were just talking off air with Neil about this. Okay. It is a Friday. It is May 1st. And Boy Green, you and I have had this long-standing tradition for our radio show, now digital show. And that tradition is we did this thing for years in radio called Fun Friday. All right. Yeah. And basically what we did, it was a way, dare I say, with content not quite being as robust during the summer months, particularly football content. I mean, we get our drips and our drabs, and there's always news and notes. But remember, we were doing a show 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of content to provide. And so during the summer months, we kind of decided that Fridays was going to be a day where we could just kind of celebrate and send people off into the weekend in a fun way. And so at 11 o'clock, the top of hour number 2 of our show on the radio, we would do this thing called Fun Fridays, where you or I or the many interns who were working with us at the time, because we're rotating interns year after year, would be tasked with creating some form of a trivia game and then challenging the other people in the room. Yeah. So it could be me against you. It could be me making the game and you against 2 of the interns. If we had 4 people, we've brought in guests to join us and to play on my team and to play on Boy Green's team. all kinds of things. And we've played every game across the universe.
Sure.
Dead or Alive, a game that is, you give a celebrity name and you have to decide whether they're still alive or whether they're dead. Really good one.
Morbid.
Two Truths and a Lie, where we read 3 statements. One of them is true. 2 of them are true. One is a complete lie. You must identify the lie. Yeah. All right. And then
Family Feud, Jeopardy, right?
Cash Cab. Remember, I came up with Cash
Cab.
Cash Cab.
Yeah.
Just Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
We did a version
General
of that.
Jeopardy, Audio Jeopardy. I mean, we were varying it up every single week.
I believe we have the intro. Here it is.
It's time! Thank God it's Thank God it's Friday can't come fast enough. I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drum all day.
Nobody ever got to see us do that in video. We always did that.
I know. That's the first time. Boom.
There you go. So yeah, that was our Fun Friday Open, and we used to play that on the radio, and then we'd roll into our game and announce what the game was, who the MC of the game was, who was playing against who, and so on and so forth. So Paul and our guest about to join us, Neil Adler from Inside the Loud House. Come on in, Neil. You can come into the room. Let him in. We were just discussing that we'd like to maybe bring back Fun Fridays here during the summer months. It's already May the 1st. We would typically usually do it, I don't know. It was more like June 1st, maybe somewhere.
I would say June because of the NBA playoffs. We gave it a little bit of breath, but we didn't wait until like the NBA draft, which is the end of June.
Right.
So it was probably June,
the month of June, the month of July, a little bit of August, and then we deep plug and say, all right, football's on. Let's go.
Football's on. 100%. 100%. It's like 2.5 months. Yeah.
So we'll see if we can bring it back in the digital format, and maybe some of you, our viewers, could play along with us. Neil already wants in. He wants either to MC the game or play the game with somebody.
You don't want me to MC the game. That's
all right. Well, everybody has to
play the game.
You got to pay your dues, Neil. This is not a one-way street. Okay, you got it. It's a two-way street. Because listen, making the game is really it's work. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not like
Green's made hundreds of them, but at the same time, after the work is done, it's also very rewarding.
It's
all the answers.
Play
with everyone else, and it's kind of fun being the MC and having that card in your hand that says, "Yeah, this is the which one is it, boys?" And
I mean, first of all, obviously, love you guys. Thanks for having me on, friends. Please subscribe. Blah blah blah. Happy Friday. But I already know which one I'm gonna do. It's gonna be an '80s trivia, '80s sports movies.
Oh, I love it.
Shows, music, pop culture, and my intro is, and it's going to be a Duran Duran song. It should be "Hungry Like the Wolf" because it's like I'm hungry. I want to win this trivia game. I'm on the prowl, so to speak.
We're on the prowl for a win, and
like not on the prowl, but yeah. So let's do it. I'm in. And we got to do like a happy hour Friday. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be a fun Friday. It's got to be Friday for sure.
I got a coffee right next to me, but a blue moon with a little orange slice for the Syracuse orange, like that.
Okay, nice. It's a good touch.
Yeah, look, put it in the 12th Manchild laser engraved here. Imagine how a blue moon would look in there. How would that look?
Yeah. With the orange slice,
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've obviously talked about some of the swag, and you have the hats. I know. I didn't know about the glasses. The glasses are new. Oh gosh, are you getting shot glasses too? Little baby glasses.
Oh, little baby shot glasses. I don't have those in the house yet, but Neil is on top.
Or like
ideas.
Like nice cups you can play like flip cup with.
Okay.
You got to get the. You got to get the thing like where from a cornhole, like the little beanie bag thing. Can you get some of those? Like that's good brand aware. As someone that also has done marketing over the years, that's good brand awareness. Just get it out there in Central New York or wherever. We want it everywhere.
Not to get too much off tangent here, I do want to talk Syracuse basketball with you.
All right, fine.
But quickly, when we went to Pittsburgh last year for the baseball game, all right, Paul went with me, and we took some of our interns. It was kind of a last hurrah, we knew the radio thing was ending, and said, "Come on, boys, let's go to Pittsburgh and let's go have a good time and go see baseball and drink beer and eat hot dogs and enjoy this great city called Pittsburgh." We went to this beautiful park that is right in front of the National Aviary. in the North Shore area of Pittsburgh, where I've typically stayed, and I hooked us up with a really, really nice Airbnb that Paul actually just stayed at partially during the NFL draft.
Right.
Walking distance to the two stadiums. So you don't even have to get in a car, Neil. We just walk to the baseball stadium from our Airbnb. How cool was that?
Did you mean stumble or like
stumble
walk?
With Paul's case, stumbling?
Yeah.
We don't have to do that. We're not going to relive that story again.
Yeah.
And he got back safely this time, watched where he was walking, so on and so forth. But one of the things we did, we had this beautiful spring day, one of the days, and we went across the street to the park, and Paul brought his cornhole boards and the cornhole bean bags, and he has Jets-themed cornhole.
Of course he does.
And these are, and this is professional boards. These are the real deal. That's not some slapping.
No, this is like legit. I can totally
legitimate.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And we had a vicious several rounds of cornhole in the park on a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It was really a lot of fun.
So, like, have you guys talked about it this week on your show? Like, Paul is best friends with Rich Eisen now.
Oh yes, I know. Yes, he hangs with him.
It's like they went official on social media. Like I saw this and I'm like, dude, like Paul's kind of a big deal. Well,
Paul was a TV star. This whole
already a big deal because of your show.
Over a week ago, Paul was a TV
and now
stud.
He's like hobnobbing. Like, look at that. Now, when I saw that, like Paul, I couldn't tell. Yeah. I thought, was that a skinny tie, like one of the hipster skinny ties? But no, maybe not. Now the way it looks, when I saw it on social media, I was like, oh, is Rich Eisen popping a skinny tie? I love that.
I wish I almost asked him for the picture because not this picture, but like inside the coat is custom made and it has "Run Rich Run" because that's a charity of raising money for St. Jude's.
It's like the Jim Boeheim jacket,
right, exactly. And when he came around, because what you can see behind you, that glass studio, it's elevated off the normal ground. It's like, I don't know, 15 feet in the air, maybe something like that. And when he was coming around the bend, and I went, whoa, he's going to meet with the great unwashed. He's going to take pictures with us animals out here. When he walked by, I saw the inside custom tailor fit of the Run Rich Run. And I almost said, hey, Rich, let's get a picture to spread the love. But we ran out of time. But he had a custom suit in there for St. Jude's. Very nice.
Yeah.
So did you
it
guys?
Looks like a thinner tie, but I don't think.
And you guys exchange numbers, like you're on a text thread now, right? About the Jets.
We did not.
Jets fans got to stick together, man. They got to stick together.
I should have.
Well, we did not. I hope you had a good time, Paul. Looks that's pretty cool. I like it. He's a classic. Like, obviously with like big names start, some you like, or I don't like this guy. I mean, he's a classic. I mean, he's great.
I know Lurch wants to get to Syracuse basketball before we're all dead.
All right, I'll zip my lips now.
But the only thing I will say is, normally in life they tell you don't meet your idols because, like, you have them up here, and when you meet them, what if it's
where you had them?
It's a bad day and they're a jerk.
That can happen.
Absolutely.
So maybe they're a real jerk.
Manchild and Tiger Woods, and it was before I met him that I found out all this bad stuff about him. So.
And that's what I'm saying. That like sometimes it could just be a jerk in general, and then you just learn that, or it's just a bad day at the office, and you just get the jerky version. So like,
it could be a bad day. Yeah,
they tell you that. So he came out, and I'm like, boy, how's this gonna go? So I'm like, all right. So I meet him in a line of people of meeting him, get to take a picture of the picture you just saw and shake his hand. And he was very genuine, very in. And then I'm like, well, I want to have a conversation with him, but there's a long line. So let me pull off to the side, let the line of people talk to him that's going to talk to him. And if he wants to engage with me because he sees that I'm waiting, then he can. If not, he'll say, see you, pal. And he saw that I waited and he walked over to me. We had a conversation for 3 minutes or something. I don't know. And he engaged. We went back and forth. I told him like what he's meant to my career and why it's so important and all that stuff. And he just said, hey man, I can't wait till you call back into the show, Paul from Syracuse. And like, there's this note. And I was like, wow. Again, sometimes you meet your people and then you get destroyed. But I had a little pep in my step the rest of the time for the rest of the trip. So super cool guy. So very genuine. So
when we do the Friday summer thing, I'll tell you a similar story, an interaction I had for roughly 3 minutes with Kathan and Scott Van Pelt at the beach.
SVP. Oh, that's a great story.
Nice
great tease.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Syracuse tidbits to him. So we'll get into that another time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Don't forget to tell me.
Syracuse basketball. Nothing going on there. Whatever.
Let's start from the latest and work our way back. Because there continues to be this evolution of hires and things settled within the program now that Jerry McNamara has taken it over. So the latest is they do have their GM now. His name is Greg Fahey. All right. And, he's got an interesting backstory. So, Neil, I'll just tee it up for you and tell us about Greg Fahey and why he's going to make for a good GM, hopefully, at Syracuse.
I've heard nothing but good things so far. Like when we were on this show at one point where we were quasi joking around about, oh, Mike Hopkins should be the GM or Carmelo Anthony should be the GM, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Greg Fahey isn't probably a name that a lot of Syracuse fans really. I had heard his name, but I didn't pretend to know anything. I think he's going to be a really good hire. I mean, he worked. Oh, I shouldn't say this. He worked at Georgetown, so like we're not supposed to like him. But hey, look, I was born at Georgetown Hospital. I lived in DC most of my adult. I like the Hoyas when they're not playing Syracuse. But he had a year with at Georgetown. He comes from Hampton in the CAA. Like he kind of fits the mold of a lot of Jerry's staff in terms of these rising stars, these younger guys. Obviously, Jamal Brunt from Penn State is a veteran, but Fahey's got a nice background. And when I saw the initial news, Mike Waters broke the story because I don't think SU Athletics has officially announced it. But like the first thing I noticed, I was like, oh, he used to coach the City Rocks, the Albany-based City Rocks, the EYBL team. And since you guys know, and Paul knows, having been my former editor, I mean, I love recruiting. So, and I like writing about like the AAU stuff with Syracuse targets. So when I first saw that, I was like, oh, cool. Like this is. And it was a while ago. He's had a bunch of other jobs since, but I was like, oh, wow, he used to coach. He's got an interesting background. I mean, again, he worked for Ed Cooley involving NIL and other stuff as a special assistant for one season. He's been at Hampton these, I believe, last 2 years. He was a GA at Providence. Then he was the director of basketball ops at Siena. So he was there before Jerry McNamara, but they're both Siena guys. They obviously knew each other to some extent. And he was the director of basketball ops, then an assistant coach. And then he went to Georgetown, and now he's at Hampton. And I just think he seems like, some interviews I've read, other stuff, I've kind of done a little research. He seems like, again, he's a younger guy, but I think he knows his stuff when it comes to like fundraising and like rev share and like the financial aspects, because obviously the GM thing is, it's a couple years old now, and Alex Klein was in it for, I believe, 2 seasons at Syracuse, but there's roster construction, there's the transfer portal and all the recruiting components, but then there's, and player development, sure. But then there's the fundraising aspect, the NIL, the rev share. So again, he's not maybe a household name, but he kind of fits the mold of the rest of Jerry's staff. And that mold also kind of fits also his roster, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just kind of like a feeling. I don't know Greg at this point. He seems like an interesting hire. Like, let's see how it, kind of all shakes out. But he does have that financial kind of experience, which is like newer because look, RevShare just started this past season, but I think I'm excited for this team. I know some fans are bemoaning things or whatever because it's not splashy with all the acquisitions, but I think it's a good hire.
Okay. He's only 34. He looks about 21. You can see that's a picture of him.
He looks super young.
And he does. But you know what? The funny thing is, like, maybe, all right, Bud would probably like alarms, sirens going off, we need a guy.
Yeah, young whippersnapper.
Well, the thing with the GM, though,
GM, right, I was going to say,
that's
these
like a new position the last couple of years anyway. Right. So
GMs across the country, Neil, are young. They're in their 30s. I'm finding it hard to find anybody above the age of 40. That
doesn't surprise me. It's a newer thing, and like, the money aspects. And these guys are like, some of these guys are probably have, I don't know, they might have like finance background. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a whole new kind of.
It's like a Wall Street kind of thing,
Yeah,
very.
You're looking for those crazy young Wall Street guys that can like get into pits and go, yeah, sell. Like you gotta have energy to do that stuff.
Well, you signed that one guy. He only gets $1 million this year, not 1.2. No, but I like all kidding aside. I think a lot of the GMs that what, Jim. I don't know how I would ever have enough time to do research. I would love for like a national reporter to like just do. Like, what is the age of every GM right now? Yep. Like, what's the average age? Because I bet it definitely skews a lot younger than
very young
head coaches or even assistants. So we'll see. But I think it's kind of
not unusual. Not unusual at all. They secured another player too that we've been talking about for several weeks. So
Francis
Folafak is in the fold. A lot of people were hoping that this would land.
Yes.
There was some question whether it was just based again on what's on this roster right now and how much Folafak would play. I was reading an article, I think it was on Syracuse.com, that Carmelo Anthony had some hand in this recruitment here of Folafax. So what can you tell us about that, and tell us about this player?
Yeah, so definitely. So I think he's a really rising star. He was an all-MAC unanimous freshman, all freshman team, all rookie team, whatever you call it. He's from the DMV, so I have a even more affinity to him. Like he played at Mount Zion Prep in Lanham, Maryland, and in Prince George's County as a senior, and they were a top 25 national team. And he played. This is to answer your question, Jim. He played for Team Mello on the EYBL circuit, the Baltimore-based Team Mello, which travel league. So I think there was some phone calls made and this and that, and he ended up at Siena. And again, he had a great freshman season. Let me get a couple of the stats here. I think he really, from a forward perspective, I think he complements Sadiq White, and I wrote about that this week on Inside the Lighthouse, because Francis has a really good. I think he's good on both ends of the floor, but he's more bruising. He's 6'7", like I want to get this right, 245. Yeah. And Sadiq, is like 6'9", like 190 something, or maybe so. And Sadiq is awesome on defense, but he got, continue working on his offensive game. But Francis is a good player. Like he's gonna, I assume Sadiq's gonna start at the 4, but I don't. But like Francis is gonna play. And look, can I just say one thing for all the fans out there that are like, oh, it's like they're calling Syracuse Sienacuse now because they got a few Siena players, and like I understand all that, but this is how it works. The new head coach, like you guys, Jim's grinning. Like this is how it works. You bring guys from your school. You bring potentially high school recruits. I think the fact that this is definitely off Folafax now. Folafac's a good player. I think he had like 18 points against Duke in the tournament game. He's going to contend for minutes, whether at the 3 or the 4. I don't think he could play the 5 just because he's about 6'7", which I'm not like nothing to sneeze at, but like other guys on it. But like Jerry bringing over a couple of Siena guys is totally look. They have 15 roster spots. They only had 2 guys returning from the main rotation, and then Calvin Russell and Noah Abdul. I think the problem is some fans thought that they're going to make splashy acquisitions in terms of like 5-star transfers, but those guys cost millions of dollars. And Syracuse's money situation, I believe, is better, but the market has also gone up. So I like the roster. I have no idea if they're going to win any games. I hope they're going to win more than 15. This is all conjecture and speculation right now. Folafax was a good pickup. He visited Georgia Tech. He might have visited other programs. I'm not sure. Like he had a really good freshman season, and he was like second team All-Met as a senior at Mount Zion Prep, which is a really good. Like he can play. So again, these aren't household names. Francis Folafax among them that a lot of Syracuse fans knew before they came on board. So like, let's see how it plays out. But Folafax was rumored for a while, and then he takes the Georgia Tech visit. So maybe and then there was like rumors like he was committing this day. That you always take that with a grain of salt. But I was not surprised he committed. It's a good pickup. They have a great tandem at forward, and I like this roster. I'm biased.
Look, anybody that watched that Siena Duke game watched it on TV like I did, and
maybe
even watched a handful of other Siena games if you went that far, because there are a lot of obviously Jerry McNamara fans in Central New York that were following his coaching career. Folafax and Doty were the two best players on Siena, from what I could see, at least from the eye test. I don't watch them day in and day out, but they were the 2 best players, and both of them are now on Syracuse. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking the 2 best players of a team that, by the way, nearly beat Duke? Syracuse hasn't even come close to beating in 10 years. All right. And bringing them onto your roster. That's a lousy roster. I don't know what the heck people are seeing. Good players are good players, especially when you have players that have played together and have chemistry. Period. End of story.
Yes, Jim. And like, I've had this back and forth with fans, and I don't want to go off topic, certainly, but it's just, I think when GMAC came in, he re-energized the fan base. There's all this talk about, Vinny Lobdell and other, donors and money. And so the unrealistic expectation from some fans, but understandable, is that they're going to get they're going to get a Donnie Freeman in the portal. They're not. They weren't going to do that. They got a bunch of 4-star guys, whether the prep level, the transfer level. By the way, I just got an email from Pete Moore, the director of PR.
Oh, breaking news!
It was literally what we were just talking about. It was about them finally officially announcing Greg Fahey is the GM. So I just
okay. I was like, whoa, breaking news!
I just saw I have it, my email on another browser right up, and it says Pete Moore. I was like, okay, I gotta at least look at that. Orange announces Greg Fahey. So welcome, Greg.
Official. Yeah, welcome to the family.
Yeah, welcome to the family. But Francis is a great pickup, and this roster, Jerry's said it. And did you guys listen to the John Rothstein? Like, there was a lot of good nuggets in that interview from earlier this week. And, he said he's recruiting guys to fit his mold, not make Twitter happy. So
there you go. That's the way to do it. Talk with Neil Adler. We are inside the Syracuse basketball world, Syracuse Hoops, every Friday. This is going to be our last regular Friday visit with Neil, but we will bring Neil in anytime news is breaking, new recruits on the horizon, some other big thing happens. So, keep that going. It is youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. That is our handle. If you're not already a subscriber, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's absolutely free. Just click subscribe. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied today. And also, if you are a subscriber, you can be a member. You can join membership, and we are having a monthly raffle, Neil. You'll love this.
Yeah.
Go out to break, Neil. Okay. You'll love the prizes.
What is it? It's something juicy.
Raffle. All right?
Okay. Let's roll the footage.
Okay. Roll the footage, Boy Green.
All right, and this is the first Jim Boeheim life-size poster. Again, tight shot of Boeheim, people on the bench. You got an official in the shot there. And like I said, it's made of this nice vinyl material. So you can see it really, really well. I mean, it was hanging in the studio, so it's, not in perfect, pristine condition, but it absolutely looks awesome on a wall. Or someone could even take this thing and get it framed into a big frame and have it cut properly to fit a frame. So very cool item. I'll show you the second one in just a second. All right, and here's the second poster. This one is a close-up of Jim Boeheim, obviously in his suit and tie. Really, really nice quality. By the way, both of the posters roughly 46 inches wide by about 56 inches from top to bottom. So both in really nice shape. And again, both this vinyl. So it's a really, really, this is going to, it's really, really durable. There are a few holes along the edges for where we had them tacked in the studio, but outside of that, they're really, really in good shape, especially this poster. Really nice.
So our raffle this month are those two Jim Boeheim life-size posters, and Neil, you're going to get in on this one, the laser engraved 12th MC glass as well. All right, so there's those three items that are going out the door for raffle tickets, and all you have to do is become a member. That's automatic 2 raffle tickets if you just become a member of the 12th Manchild. You see the scrolling ticker there, gives you all the details. All right, it costs $4.99, and you help support the channel. You can also become a diehard or a Hall of Fame member, and then you can get a plethora of tickets. If you become a Hall of Fame, you get 20 tickets right out of the box. And if you just want a super chat or super sticker, you can get for every $3 that you donate to the channel, you'll get 1 raffle ticket, and it obviously gets incrementally up there. And if you like to gift memberships, we have some people that are big gift givers. I don't know, it's like Christmas in the middle of the summer, so to speak. Then you can, if you gift 5 or more memberships, you automatically get 20 raffle tickets. You can really make a boom. And we had somebody last month that won the Dan Aykroyd harmonica and the the Sports Illustrated, Neil, that I was touting there.
Oh yes,
he stuffed the box on the final day. We're in our last live show.
Love that.
As his handle is T-Town Jet, very, very nice guy from down in Oklahoma area. And T-Town stuffed the ballot box, so to speak, or the raffle box, I should say.
It.
All right, and he ended up with 50-something tickets.
Right,
and he had 4 times as much as anyone else.
And he won.
So he did win, by the way. He stuffed it and won.
Awesome. Hey, listen,
those items are on their way to him down there, down south. So, fantastic stuff. So a raffle every month, and we draw on the 22nd of the month for anybody that wants to get involved in our raffles. So it's a way to support the channel, and at the same time, maybe end up getting some really nice prizes for yourself. So all you SU nuts out there, think about it. 2 life-size Jim Boeheim posters.
I mean,
glass, very nice.
You put them above your bed, you look up at Jim, when you're daydreaming.
That would scare me if I woke up in the middle of the night.
Paul, it's on the one hand, it'd make me think of my alma mater and winning a chip and whatever other great memory I have of Syracuse basketball. On the other hand, it would freak me out. It would freak me out. Yeah.
And it's I think one of the other cool things is it's a cool part of history that was in
so cool.
our radio booth. And I love that, we've sort of been doing this since, we've left the radio show last summer. So there's all kinds of items from that radio booth and studio.
We're going to slowly but surely raffle them off.
Yeah, so people are getting pieces of history, and hopefully they cherish those pieces. And, the show is spread across America and beyond, maybe. It certainly is with other countries and everything else where our show gets to live on in those realms. So, yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love coming on the radio show, and you guys are legends. But like at the same time, you just brought up a great point, and I know this is completely like tangential, but yeah, like people in other countries like seeing your show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care they're seeing me, but like you got like that's cool. You
On
got
my
some
Jets
Syracuse
show,
fans
and
or
he's
Jets
also
fans, you know, and oversee like that's cool.
There is a guy who's on both this channel and my other channel, the #1 Austrian Jet fan. He is actually in Austria. He has won prizes on my channel.
Like,
I've sent him prizes. I've not met him in person yet. I hope one day. He also hopes that he gets to come to one of my tailgates where I host 100 Jet fans, and it would be amazing. So it is pretty cool that the show is international.
I think it's so cool. But do me a favor when you have your Jets party, just invite Rich Eisen, please. Like,
yes, we'll do. I'll see if he takes me up on the invite. But
that might add a few. That might add a few extra people there.
Yeah.
All right. Again, Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. We are presented by Northeast Roofing Professionals. Today's video brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse, the mattress and sofa outlet, where you can save 30 to 70%. Let's hear a little about Box Drop, and then we're back more with Neil right after this.
Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com.
Finding the right local roofing company can be tricky. You don't want to hire the wrong roofers, or you could end up spending a fortune on repairs. The pros at Northeast Roofing Professionals can ensure your home is protected by a strong and sturdy roof. Locally owned and operated, over 30 years experience, free estimates, and competitively priced. Don't settle for an inexperienced roofing contractor. Turn to Northeast Roofing Professionals. Discounts for military and first responders. Reach out and let them put a sturdy roof over your head. NERPCNY.com. NERPCNY.com.
And welcome back. I want to thank all our sponsors. You see them rotating in the upper right corner of your video screen. And we appreciate the support we get from all of those sponsors. And Neil has mentioned this in our video earlier today. It's May 1st already, May 10th, Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for flowers, you live in the central New York area, and you're looking for flowers for mom, why not get that beautiful bouquet? Go see our friends at the Allen Floral Group, and you'll see several of their logos flashing in the upper right corner. St. Agnes, a creative florist, and several others. So go see our friends at Allen Floral Group. They have their own website where you can get in touch with all 5 florists or decide which one is closest to you. It's allenfloralgroup.com. So happy Mother's Day, everybody. We're only 10 days away from all you moms being honored, as always. All right, I got
absolutely.
It's not too early. I got to start thinking about what I'm getting my mom and get it down to her in time and everything, because she's down in New York. So I got to get that going now. It's May 1st. What am I doing? I better call Allen Floral, see if they can deliver something all the way down.
You need to get on. You need to hop on that, Jim. Come on, man. Let's go.
That's right.
All right, a couple other news and notes I want to get to, Neil, now that we're back talking SU basketball. This was an interesting one. There have been a lot of moans, dare I say, from the crowd of Syracuse fans about Syracuse's once intimate connection with Madison Square Garden, and now their very distant connection to Madison Square Garden. And so logically, when a new chief is named, in the case of Jerry McNamara as the new head coach, the question arises, are you interested? And Jerry is one of those players, as we know, who had a legendary several years down at Madison Square Garden, including that amazing run the one year he was hitting all those game-winning shots in the Big East basketball tournament. So give me your thoughts, Neil. Jerry seems to intimate that he would love to rebirth that relationship between Madison Square Garden and Syracuse basketball.
Well, yeah, he won Big East tournament titles in 05 and 06. And just thinking about this now, that legendary run in 06 was 20 years ago. That makes me feel old, guys. Come on, man. 20 years since that run. Look, it's not just about him, like, maybe thinking it'd be cool to play in they're gonna play in Madison Square Garden. He said he wants to play there. He said to John Rothstein of CBS Sports in that great podcast interview from earlier this week, he said he wants to play there basically every season. And he also, when he was asked if Syracuse might be playing someone at Madison Square Garden this coming season, he didn't back off it. I mean, he basically kind of he didn't say yes, but he kind of said yes. And so I'll tell you, I've heard some stuff out there that they might have something going on with. I've heard different names, so like nothing concrete. But I mean, if they played like a former Big East, and they are playing Providence this year in Boston, but if they played a former Big East rival at Madison Square Garden with Jerry McNamara as the head coach, like, what's better than that? I mean, it's great. It's awesome. And they're not playing in the Players Era in Vegas. I had that earlier this month, but I honestly still don't know if that was something where they backed out or their contract ended and they weren't renewed. Like we don't know. We just know they're not playing in it. So they've got non-conference games, and they've got Providence and Boston. They've got Indiana and Indianapolis. There was news from John Rothstein about playing Albany. But yeah, like it's not going to surprise me at all if sometime in the next, whether it's this coming week or in the next couple of weeks, like something comes out and says Syracuse is playing X team at MSG. And, one of it was, I don't think it'll be UConn. One of it was like St. John's or
that'd be fun.
Or Villanova or, whatever. Like you go down the list. So they're going to play there a lot. And I think it's awesome. I think it's so awesome. I have no idea if they'll win their games. You know what I'm saying? But like the feeling I'm getting behind hearing stuff like this, and I know I'm biased because I'm an alum and all that, but like, how can you not get excited? Even yes, look, they're in the ACC. I get all that, but still playing some like former rivals, like they need non-conference games anyway. And they've got as you guys know, even better than me, they've got a tremendous fan and alumni base in the New York metro area. It's a key recruiting market. But like, doesn't it make sense I feel I don't know if I said this earlier this week on another pod or whatever. Like, even if they played some games at Barclays, I think just having games in New York City and, reasserting themselves or trying to as New York's college team. I don't like using that slogan. And look, St. John's is a better basketball program right now. Let's be real. But I love it. What do you guys think? I mean, I think it's great. I think it would be awesome.
Sounds like Darryl Gross has got you wrapped around his finger there, Neil. That's what it sounds like.
That's true. Yeah. What about this seismic matchup, Neil? Syracuse to host Albany as part of its 2027 non-conference schedule. Huh? Is that referendum?
Are you talking smack about the Great Danes? Let me tell you about the Great Danes.
Yeah, please do. Connor Rogers, our guy, went to Albany.
Look, they weren't good last year. I know they struggled, but they're going to have to play some games against mid-majors. And dare I say, they probably aren't playing Siena this year. I'm taking a wild guess that it won't happen this year. I can see it happening in the future.
Oh,
but so we're going to have to. So why not play some local teams? And I don't know if it's in the cards for Colgate or Cornell, but Albany, fine. Like you would assume Syracuse will win the game, and I'm not saying it's going to move the needle with their net ranking, but why not? Why not?
Okay.
It'd be nice if the Thompson boys still had some eligibility, move over from lacrosse, get on the basketball court. That'd be a fun rivalry against Syracuse.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I didn't like that those guys didn't go to Syracuse. That was very, very upsetting for the Syracuse lacrosse community. Go ahead, BG.
I mean, I get it. It's fair. That's fair.
Here's my last one, Neil. This sort of a cool, interesting one that Mike Waters highlighted on social media. Former Syracuse player Malik Brown, who spent the last 2 years at Duke, has been invited to the NBA Combine. It's been Neil, we're going to start telling war stories back.
Okay, you want to get into that? Sure.
No, of just Syracuse is a very proud program of pumping out guys from the program to the NBA and us getting to cover it they're at the NBA Combine, first round picks and all these other things. But unfortunately, we've been
it's been a minute.
It's been a minute to use what the kids say. It's been a few minutes since this has happened, but it's cool to see, he's not 100% a Syracuse guy now that he has that Duke blood running through his veins, unfortunately. But this is a cool story. Malik Brown at the Combine. Nice.
I'm going to be the first to admit to you that I have like a bias towards Malik Brown in a positive way because he's from Virginia. I'm from the DMV. He was from further down, but I mean, he went to the Blue Ridge School. I can't remember where it is, but like I was writing about him obviously when Syracuse was recruiting him, and I just like it that he's an unselfish player that makes an impact like through steals and defense and rebounding. And I know when players leave and then succeed or even just leave or whatever, like there's certain fans that are like, they're dead to me. And of course he left for Duke and Duke went to a Final Four and Elite Eight. So like, I get all that, but how can you not root for a guy like Malik? Like, again, I don't know if I feel like I saw something earlier this week. It was a mock projection somewhere in the stratosphere that had him going in the second round. And like, I'd be all about that. Yeah. I mean, he went on to greener pastures. Sometimes guys leave and it's less green pastures. But like this dude, like he 6th man of the year and defensive player of the year in the ACC this season. Did I get that right? I think I got that right.
So.
I think that's
correct. How can you not root for a guy that is like getting all kinds of love like that? And it's all about defense and rebounds and gritty, the little plays. It's not about 3-point shooting. He can score a little, but I'm rooting for him. I would love it if he gets picked up by my hometown Washington Wizards. There you go.
There haven't been too many guys in the history of Syracuse that have left Syracuse for Duke. That's never a popular move among the fans.
No, and I get all that. I really do. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to root for Malik just in terms of the time.
Yeah, he's a good
player.
Very good dude, too. Really good dude when he was here. Two more for you, Neil. Number one, you kind of brought it up earlier, the idea of Syracuse playing St. John's. Donnie Freeman lands at St. John's. Give me your take on that. This is fascinating to me. Because if there's one complaint that it seems uniformly that Syracuse fans had about Donnie Freeman, it had nothing to do with talent and everything to do with hustle. And now he's going to play for the coach who demands more hustle from his players than maybe anybody across the country. This is a make or break situation here, Neil. This is either going to work fabulously,
or it's going to be
Freeman's going to be one of the really good players, or
it's
going to be a complete disaster. Give me your thoughts.
You just said my thoughts. I have nothing to say. No, seriously. Another guy that I root for because he's from the DMV. The highest ranked guy ever not ever, but since Melo. Didn't work out. He was fine, but yes, I agree with the whole effort thing. When I saw that, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like,
oh boy.
Go crush it. And now that I think about it, oh my God, when have they played St. John's? Syracuse St. John's. Jerry McNamara at MSG against Rick Pitino, a former assistant from 8 million years ago. And oh, by the way, guess who's on the St. John's roster? Donnie Freeman.
Yeah, the guy was
I had the best idea ever. No one ever thought of that.
No one.
No, but like all seriousness is, kidding aside, Jim, I'm happy for Donnie. Like he's clearly has talent. And I think it could work out wonderfully. But yeah, he's going to definitely have to up his game in terms of, and I get it. It was a frustrating season and we don't know everything behind the scenes, and he's getting paid. He's getting paid. I don't know how much, but you see stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if it's multiple millions of dollars. Good for him. I just want Syracuse to have.
Let's hope it makes him.
I root for St. John's. I root for former Big East teams, but I just want Syracuse to have more success than all of them. But it's good. It's good for college basketball when a team like St. John's and a team like Syracuse, frankly, are good. And I know they're both not in the Big East, and the Big East is different now, but those are historical brands in college basketball. So Rick Pitino's done it. Now it's GMAC's turn. Let's get it.
It's fascinating to me is, you think about, money, right? And people that get money, people that acquire money, people that win the lottery. Let's just use the lottery as a good example. Okay. Right? So he kind of hits the lottery here.
I think I think it's a very good situation.
And again, I'm just talking about regular people here, and then we can kind of, use this analogy to the athlete.
Sure.
But I mean, just being honest, I'll be honest. If someone came to me and just said, hey, I've got, here, guess what? You just won $5 million. Lurch, here you go. $5 million, hand it over to you, right? Do you think that I would be hustling more, or would I be taking it easy more? I think I'm like headed right for the Caribbean. I'm swimming up to one of those pool bars.
Sure.
Like, yeah, get me 3 Mai Tais and let's just
sounds good to me.
Blah 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 and yada yada yada. So yeah, I mean, crazy, but
I
doesn't tend to make you hustle more. It tends to oftentimes let you.
But I think yeah, and I get you. And I'm all about you and I. Like, let's go hit the Caribbean right now. I'm down with like the Bahamas.
We'll bring the laser engraved glasses and everything.
But like the thing with Donnie though is like if he wants a future in basketball, like he's got talent, but he doesn't want to have like that kind of MO, so to speak. So fine, it didn't work out at Syracuse. And look, he also was injured for more than half of last season and for 9 games this past season. So, let's see if he reinvents himself and he still got the talent and he does well individually, but there's that, there's none of that kind of whispering behind. Like that's good for his draft prospects. So we'll see. It'll be fascinating.
All right. Final one and a nice one. And Paul had to dip out here. He's got a family thing. He has
all good.
So we're not going to see him back.
Yeah.
Jean Boljac back home in South Sudan. I saw a piece today that he
I did
has
not see
arrived
that.
safely and that he apparently is very, very glad to be home. I see in my future. I'm looking at a crystal ball. I've got a crystal ball, imaginary one right here, Neil, and I'm looking into it. I'm seeing Neil Adler in South Sudan doing a day in the life of John Boljac and his
I'd
family
be all about
inside
that,
the
man.
Loud House. I mean, what do you say? I hear it's safe there now, so you know you can go there and do a day in the life. Would that not be?
I'm all about that, and I'm really glad you shared that because I was kind of away from things earlier today with doing something for my son's school, but
yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. Oh,
Me too.
So happy. Thank you, John. Yeah. Thank you.
So he's safely home, and that
That's
is a nice, warm, happy ending for a guy that, like a lot of people, has been traipsing around from detention center to detention center and not knowing what the heck his future is. But he did make it back. He is with his parents, and it sounds like at least at this point it's a silver lining. We'll see what the future of this young man
of course
is, but nonetheless, it's good news. Very, very good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go. Oh my gosh, lovely ending. Lovely ending.
All right, Neil Adler, as always, we'll miss you every Friday, but don't worry. Probably
we'll be back.
Probably you'll just be back next Friday.
You don't think the band's going to get back together at some point? Come on.
Happens. So you'll be joining us throughout the summer. We'll see if we can make that fun Friday thing happen for sure. All right. Yes. So that's on the horizon. We've got it on our radar. So we'll do some fun stuff on Fridays, just like we did back in the radio days. We're going to bring it on over to the digital world, Neil. All right. You have my word on that. Okay. All right. Fridays are always good. Fridays are always fun. I hope you had a fun time. I had a glorious time. I hope the audience had a wonderful time. Don't forget to like the video. Hit the subscribe button on the way out if you haven't already. Neil Adler, we'll see you soon, my friend. Take care.
Take care, brother. Appreciate you.